If you want to learn how to make content online, specifically about Poland or Polish people or Polish culture, then this is the video for you. Boom! Boom! Cześć ludzie! What's up people? Hola, JT here. Welcome to another episode. What is this, JT? What is this that you're doing now? Are you becoming an internet content creator marketer? Where is the link to your course or to your program? Where is it? No, there's no link. I just want to share a little bit of knowledge that I have acquired through the years. I've been making content for 5 years. I think that one of the best things that you can do in life is pass on knowledge. And whether people like it or not, I am not gonna get into the whole, we should not promote Poland, this is already old news. If we have amazing things here in Poland, we should be proud. So if you are that person that wants to now start creating a little bit of content, specifically about Poland, then hey, I'm your guy. Been doing it for 5 years, and trust me, I've learned a lot. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a guide, if you will, where you can start trying things and maybe avoid a couple mistakes along the way. The first thing that you have to ask yourself is, why do you want to make content? And specifically about Poland. What is the reason? What is the drive behind it? How do you really feel about Poland and about Polish people? Are you watching reels on Instagram or TikToks and your eyes are going to the counter where you see the views and you go,
oh wow, look at that, that got 2 million views. Ooh, I would like some of that.
If that's your thinking, then let me tell you, my friend, turn around, move on to the next video. This is not the video for you. I don't think that making content about a certain place just because it's trending, just because it's getting the views, I don't think that's the way to go. And sooner or later, trust me, there's gonna be a course correction. You might start and you might even find some success, and you will probably maybe make some content that is going to resonate and people are gonna start watching because, oh, what is this? A new person talking about Poland. Well, we all wanna see what he has to say or she has to say. There's a very high chance that you can find some virality. But in the long run, there's gonna be a course correction and you're gonna find that your videos are not getting the same views that they used to get, and what is going on, and you're gonna lose motivation because the idea from the beginning was to go viral, and that is not the way to go. You're gonna get burned out. It is gonna happen, trust me. Even when you're interested in something, eventually you're gonna feel a little bit sometimes burned out because everything that requires dedication also requires hard work. At some point, your brain is gonna be like, this is work, work is boring. And the only thing that makes you go through that and get to the other end, literally is your own desire to find new interesting things and learn for yourself. The second thing is planning what is gonna be the format of your content. Do you want to go for vertical content, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, or do you want to do YouTube long form content? Some people make whole careers creating content online, literally just short form content. Some people want to go for YouTube. I will let you know already, YouTube is harder. YouTube is a harder platform altogether. And I think that you can start making content on YouTube, right? But you have to be aware that this is not the fast output and fast reward type of content. YouTube takes a while. The algorithm on YouTube is complex. It might find you an audience very quickly, but it might not find you an audience. The good thing about YouTube is that YouTube, once you start finding an audience, tends to be a better platform to build a good, solid fan base because they're gonna slowly start getting to know you. Also, content on YouTube tends to be a little longer, so they invest more of their time. And when people invest on anything, then they attach themselves easier and a little bit stronger. The connection and the bond is stronger because whenever you devote time and effort into something, then the link is stronger. When you do short form content, it's about the content. It's not about the creator. If it has potential to go viral, if people are sharing it, if people are commenting on it, then you can be a complete unknown with 500 followers on Instagram and still you might just put out a video that's gonna take off and be seen by 1,000,000 people. But at the same time, you might come and now you are high on this video that did so well. You put out another video and it gets, it gets 1,000 views. Now that you've chosen your format, you have to define what is going to be your angle. What is going to be your unique selling point or your USP? What are you interested in? What are the things that move you? What are the things that, that are you passionate about? You like eating? We all love eating. You like discovering new things? You want to go and try different restaurants in Poland. You want to try different Polish foods, or you're interested in traveling and take people on that journey with you. You have to define what you love, because that is what is going to keep you sane, okay? Trust me, as a creator, you need to find something that is going to keep you sane. For instance, when I started this channel, it was about multiculturality, right? My life with my Polish wife, my half Dominican, half Polish son, living in the UK, but I really had a natural wonder of Poland and Polish culture, because now I had this kid who was half Polish as he is half Dominican. When I was making content, I was researching and I was trying to get to the bottom of what is it to be Polish? What is it to understand Polish culture from my perspective? And I also did content about parenting, and I did different things. At the end of the day, you're gonna morph and you're gonna find a natural flow, and you're gonna find an audience that is going to tell you, hey, listen, we might like many of the things you do, but this is what we are really interested in. But you have to find what is your passion and turn it into your unique selling point. Number 4, make a plan. These days, I script a little bit less than I used to. And I've always been a little bit of a mix between scripting and going off the cuff. But believe me, I have hundreds of pages on a document called Vigo's Dad Topics, where I have script after script after script after script, when you can see like literally full episodes that are written there word by word. And then I would just, fire the camera up. I had the script and I knew what I wanted to say. If I wanted to tell you 5 things you have to avoid in Poland, I want to make sure that I know and I remember and that I can express exactly what is that came to my mind during the research process. That's why it's very important that you do your research before. And while you do your research, there are 2 options, 2 routes basically you can take. One is to go out onto the internet and scout, right? Like find creators that are doing things similar to what you want to do now, right? That is a completely viable way of doing it. And then you can go the other route, which is what I do. And I don't recommend it for everybody, because you need to have, you need to know how your brain operates. My way was completely isolate myself from anything that I've seen related to what I do. Still to this day, I have colleagues that, do this also like me. They create content about Poland. And I occasionally might see something that they post, kind of like almost out of respect, but I don't want to be influenced by what they're doing because they have already done it. That's my brain, that's how I operate. Maybe you don't, maybe you do need to go and check, because that actually gives you inspiration. Completely valid. You choose one of those 2 highways and what you want to do. But it's very important that you start planning the content. You have already a video. It's ready. You shot it beautifully, it's translated, or at least it has captions, and you're ready to post. So you're gonna post and promote it. How does it work? Well, some things are very important to keep in mind. At the beginning, you're not gonna know what is the best hour, the best day to post. There is such a thing. Posting something at 8 or 9 in the evening, you're gonna, depending who your audience is also, you might have a bunch of people that are already on their way to bed, So for me, I have a lot of people that are similar to me in age, in their 30s or 40s. They have children. At 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, they are in the deep when it comes to the night routine with their children. They're not gonna be watching a reel of mine, right? So what is gonna happen is that the first couple of hours, the reel's not gonna get any traction, and the algorithm is gonna go, get out of the way. But if you post in an hour where people are, let's say, at a lunch break or just about to leave work, then there's a higher chance. So you have to study that. But you know how you study it? By trial and error. Eliminate from your mind the idea that you are going to go viral immediately. You have to be willing to just do a lot for little in return. But the little that is gonna come in return is invaluable because it's information about many things, about your audience, about the posting times, about the platform, about your own videos. You are the one that needs to start going through that data so that the next time you make a video, you improve and you start making less and less or fewer and fewer mistakes. When it comes to promotion, well, there are many ways. For example, on Instagram, I think on TikTok, I think in most platforms these days, although I don't know on YouTube, you would imagine that I have a lot of experience on YouTube. All platforms have an ability to boost the posts, right? So you pay some money and you boost the post. I would say stay away from that for a while. I am not against boosting posts. I've boosted posts, not recently, haven't boosted anything in a couple of years, but there was a time where I boosted like 3 or 4 reels and it really reached a lot of people. But at the beginning you should not, okay? Why? Because first of all, you need the algorithm to work its magic. The algorithm needs to know what is your account about, you know, who is your audience. They need to find you an audience first. And if you boost it and the algorithm still doesn't know what is your content about or who is your audience, it's just gonna start sending it to different people with different interests. And you don't want that. You want to zone in on something and then get your content in front of that people. So I would say don't do that. Now you can do other things, like for example, you can pay for the Meta verified thing, the blue tick. I have a whole history of the Meta verified recently with Instagram. I started paying for the Meta verified like 6 months ago as an experiment. And I tried that for like 4 months, I think. And I stopped and that was a big mistake. My channel got buried, like incredible. Also, I got people writing to me saying, we cannot see your stuff anymore. What is going on? And I'm like, so I was penalized by, I don't know, the algorithm, the powers that be, by downgrading from an already verified account into a non-verified account. Eventually, I am paying for it again. So if you want to have the tick, I think you have to, like, after a certain point, it makes sense. If you have 1,000 followers, even 5,000 followers, and you have a tick, it's like you're trying to be more important than you really are. I don't know if you have already 15,000, 20,000, okay, get the tick, it's fine. You know, it does get more visibility, so it's up to you to decide if you want to. But that is a way in how you can promote the content. And finally, the psychology of content creation. This is very, very important. I will debatably say it's the most important. You can create content of all different types, and you can do things and find a lot of success. People that follow you and praise you for your work. You can find brands that want to work with you and pay you money and get money through ads and all that thing. You know, yes, there's a lot of success that can be had through the means of content creation, but your ability to stay sane, to stay true to who you are, to not seek the validations of others, or at least limit it as much as possible, is very, very important. The more you find success in this, the more people are going to change, you know? Some people are going to tell you that it's amazing what you're doing, but some people are going to find it threatening because, you know what? You dare to do something that maybe they did not dare. Or sometimes people just don't like what you're doing, which is fine. Not everyone is going to like what you're doing, but some people are very vocal about expressing the things that they don't like. And they're going to tell you, like, you sound horrible, or your accent is terrible, or I don't like your face. This can be a heavy, heavy burden on your soul. It can be a heavy burden on your shoulders. If you're a person that you don't like being criticized, if you're a person that you take negative comments to heart, and you are argumentative, then I strongly suggest that you have a second thought before getting into creating content. I know that you can be doing this because you want to have a little side hustle. Maybe there's a way for you to make some extra cash on the side. Maybe you're just building a brand. I get it. You need to measure things monetarily, right? So you're gonna go for that money. But if you put it up in front, it's not gonna work. I've also had the occasional person that I know that they're trying to, you know, tell me something because they just want something out of me, or something from me, or that they're not being genuine. When I find one of those people, in my mind it's already there. I put a cross in my head and I go, okay, fine. So you don't want to become one of those. You want to be a person that people just want to hang out with, and safeguard your sanity, safeguard who you are in here and in here. But if this is the right path for you, you're in for a world of surprises. As with everything, there are pluses and minuses. Keep that in mind. Boom! That's all, guys. That's the end of this episode. A little bit of a weird episode, right? Very different from anything that you have seen me showcase here on my channel. But hey, you know what? That's what I want. 5 years making content. I don't want to make, the 5 things that you should not do in Poland over and over and over. I want to do new things. I want to be able to help people. Maybe there are others like me out there that want to make content, and this is some sort of guide that can help them. Hey, by all means. And most importantly, I want to make sure that I'm having fun. Send this video to a friend that might be into content creation, and see you on another episode. Bye-bye, guys.